Imagine for a moment that there was a force so powerful, as old as time itself, that it could open any door in your life. I'm not talking about a physical key, but about something much deeper, a sacred connection that our ancestors knew and used to manifest miracles in their lives. This wisdom, jealously guarded for generations, has been revealed only to those who were truly prepared to receive it. And today, if you are watching this video, it is no coincidence. The universe has guided you here because it is your time to wake up to this transformative truth. Ancient spiritual teachers spoke of a universal master key, a way to connect directly to the divine source that governs all that exists. In the ancient scriptures of different cultures, from the Hindu Vedas to the Essene manuscripts, this sacred connection is mentioned as the bridge between the human and the divine. This is not just a theory or a pretty story. It is a real power that has been documented throughout the centuries, manifesting in the lives of saints, mystics, and ordinary people who discovered how to activate it. The most fascinating thing is that this power does not discriminate. It does not matter your past, your current situation, or your beliefs. Divine connection is available to everyone, but it requires something special to activate. A deep understanding of how spiritual energy works and how we can attune to it. It's like a celestial radio. We all have the receiver, but we need to know the exact frequency to tune into the correct station. This frequency is nothing other than a special state of consciousness, a meeting point between your deepest being and the divine will. But here comes the most shocking part. This power not only exists, but is encoded in your spiritual DNA. Every human being is born with this latent capacity, waiting to be awakened. Modern scientists have begun to discover what the ancient sages already knew, that there is an invisible network of energy that connects everything that exists, and that our consciousness can interact with this network in ways that defy conventional logic. Today I am going to show you how to activate this connection step by step, but first, you need to understand the deep power that lies dormant within you. Within every human being, there is an extraordinary force, a power that goes beyond what our conscious mind can understand. This power is not something external that we must seek, but rather an innate energy that you already possess, although you may not know it. Think of it as a spiritual muscle that has been dormant for years, waiting to be exercised and developed. The great spiritual teachers have always taught that the kingdom of heaven is within us, but what does this really mean in practical terms? Most people live using less than 10% of their spiritual potential. It's like having a latest generation smartphone and using it only to make basic calls. This dormant power is the reason why some people seem to have extraordinary luck. It is not luck at all, but that they have learned, consciously or unconsciously, to activate this inner force. When this power is awakened, meaningful coincidences begin to multiply. Opportunities appear out of nowhere, and doors that previously seemed closed begin to open on their own. The most surprising thing is that this power has different levels of manifestation. At its most basic level, it manifests as intuition, those hunches that have saved you from difficult situations or guided you to incredible opportunities. But at its highest levels, this power can manifest as true miracles in your life. The key is to understand that it is not something supernatural or mystical, but rather a natural ability that we all possess, and that can be developed systematically, like any other ability. Modern science is beginning to validate what mystics have known for millennia, that our consciousness has the power to influence physical reality. Studies in quantum physics have shown that the observer affects what is observed, suggesting that our minds have much greater power than we imagine. But beyond the science, the experiences of thousands of people who have activated this inner power speak for themselves. Miraculous transformations in health, relationships, finances, and life purpose that cannot be explained by conventional logic. The connection between the human mind and the divine is not just a matter of faith. There is a scientific basis that explains how our thoughts and beliefs can literally reconfigure the reality we experience. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brain has a specialized neural network that acts as a bridge between our individual consciousness and the universal field of possibilities. This network not only processes sensory information, but is also capable of tuning into more subtle frequencies, allowing us to access deeper levels of reality. If you have felt the divine call while watching this video, it is no coincidence. The universe has brought you here for a reason. Write in the comments, "I activate my divine connection," to seal this sacred intention. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay connected with more ancient wisdom. Imagine your mind as a sophisticated antenna capable of tuning into different frequencies of consciousness. In its normal state, this antenna is configured to pick up only the densest and most material frequencies of reality. However, when we learn to consciously adjust this antenna, we can begin to pick up more subtle signal, divine inspiration, spiritual guidance, and what many call synchronicities. These are not random coincidences, but manifestations of a higher order that is revealed when we raise our vibrational frequency. Recent studies in the field of epigenetics have revealed something even more astonishing. Our thoughts and emotional states can literally modify the expression of our genes. This means that when we enter a state of deep connection with the divine, not only does our perception change, but our physical body begins to resonate at a higher frequency. It is as if every cell of our being aligns with divine will, opening channels of manifestation that were previously blocked. But here's the most revolutionary part. This divine connection does not require years of spiritual practice or advanced esoteric knowledge. Science has shown that certain specific techniques can quickly activate the brain centers responsible for this higher connection. It's like having a spiritual switch that we can learn to turn on at will. When we master these techniques, not only does our ability to manifest improve, but we experience a profound transformation at all levels of our being. The first sacred key is what the ancient mystics called the awakening of the inner vision. It is not about seeing with physical eyes, but about developing a special sensitivity that allows you to perceive divine signs in everyday life. Imagine that life is like a great sacred book, where every experience, every encounter, every apparent coincidence contains a specific message for you. This first key teaches you to read this invisible book, to recognize the language with which God speaks to you personally. The second sacred key is the frequency of divine gratitude. This is perhaps the most powerful of all, because it acts like a celestial magnet that attracts more blessings into your life. When you learn to keep your heart in a constant state of gratitude, even for trials and challenges, something magical happens. The universe interprets this gratitude as a sign that you are ready to receive more. It's as if you were saying to God, "I trust your plan. I am prepared to receive your blessings." The third key is the state of active grace. This is a special state of consciousness where you learn to keep your energy aligned with divine will, even in the midst of the most challenging situations. It is not just about meditating or praying, but about living in a constant state of divine receptivity. When you master this key, the doors not only open, you begin to recognize opportunities that were always there but that you were previously unable to see. The most extraordinary thing about these three keys is that they work in synergy, creating a sacred energy field around you that literally transforms your reality. It is as if you activate a spiritual beacon that guides blessings to you. But there is something crucial you need to understand. These keys are not magical amulets. They are sacred tools that require practice and dedication. The good news is that once you learn how to use them, they become a natural part of your being. There is a sacred moment in every person's life when their spiritual eyes begin to open. It is as if the world suddenly took on a new dimension, deeper and more meaningful. This awakening does not occur suddenly, but rather develops gradually, like the dawn that little by little illuminates the horizon. The fascinating thing is that once this vision begins to awaken, you begin to see divine signs and messages in the most everyday situations. What many do not understand is that heavenly messages do not always arrive in dramatic or spectacular ways. Sometimes they manifest themselves in a stranger's smile, in a chance word you hear at the right moment, or in an inexplicable feeling of peace when you need it most. The key is to develop what mystics call sacred sensitivity, a special form of attention that allows you to pick up on these subtle messages that most people miss. The process of awakening spiritual vision is like tuning a very delicate musical instrument. At first, it may seem confusing or even overwhelming because you begin to perceive a broader reality than you are used to. It is normal to feel some uncertainty at this stage, but every day you practice this new way of seeing, your attunement becomes more precise. Divine messages become clearer, signs more evident, and your ability to interpret heavenly guidance is strengthened. But here comes the most important part. Awakening spiritual vision is not just for your personal benefit. When you develop this ability, you become a beacon of light for others. You begin to notice that you can help people around you to recognize their own divine signs, to find their way when they are lost. It is as if you become a bridge between the visible and the invisible, capable of translating heavenly messages for those who have not yet awakened this ability. There is a special frequency in the universe, a sacred vibration that, when you can tune into it, makes miracles your new normal. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is a scientific and spiritual reality that mystics have known for millennia, and that quantum physics is beginning to validate. When you learn to raise your vibrational frequency to align with this divine energy, miraculous coincidences begin to multiply in your life. The key to accessing this frequency of miracles is understanding that it is not something external to you. It is like a radio station that is always broadcasting. The divine signal never stops. It is we who need to learn to tune it correctly. This attunement occurs through specific practices that elevate your energy field: conscious prayer, deep meditation, and what the ancients called the state of active grace. The most fascinating thing is that when you begin to vibrate at this frequency, you not only attract miracles into your life, but you become a conduit for miracles to reach others. It is as if you transformed into a living antenna that captures and transmits divine energy. People around you begin to experience inexplicable blessings. Difficult situations are resolved in surprising ways, and what once seemed impossible begins to manifest with astonishing naturalness. But there is something crucial you must understand. Maintaining this frequency requires a constant commitment to your spiritual development. It is not enough to achieve this vibration once. You need to learn to sustain it through daily challenges. It's like keeping a sacred fire burning. It requires attention, dedication, and the right fuel. The good news is that each time you reconnect with this frequency, it becomes easier to maintain it until it eventually becomes your natural state of being. The first step in this sacred method is what we call the purification of intention. It is not simply about asking for what we want, but about aligning our desires with the divine plan. It's like cleaning a tarnished mirror. When your intention is pure and free of ego, divine power can be perfectly reflected through you. This process involves taking a deep look at your motivations and making sure that what you ask for will be a blessing not only to you, but to everyone involved. The second and third steps work together: the raising of the frequency and the opening of the divine channel. It is here that you learn to raise your spiritual vibration through specific prayer and meditation practices, while simultaneously opening your being to receive divine guidance. It's like tuning a radio to the perfect frequency. When you hit the exact spot, the signal becomes crystal clear and divine messages flow without interference. The fourth and fifth steps are inspired action and sacred surrender. It seems contradictory, but these two aspects must work in perfect balance. On the one hand, you act with determination following the divine guidance you receive. On the other hand, you let go of attachment to the outcome and completely trust in higher wisdom. It's like planting a seed. You do whatever it takes to make it grow, but you trust nature to do its part at the perfect time. The last two steps, anticipated gratitude and conscious manifestation, complete the sacred circle. You learn to feel gratitude for blessings even before they physically manifest, creating an energetic field that accelerates their manifestation. It is like creating a spiritual magnet that draws to you what you have asked for, while keeping your consciousness elevated to recognize and receive blessings when they come, even if they appear in unexpected ways. On the spiritual path, what many see as obstacles are actually divine signs in disguise. Every challenge, every closed door, every apparent delay contains a specific message and a hidden blessing. The art of divine interpretation teaches us to see beyond the surface, to discover the sacred purpose behind each experience. It's like learning a new language, the language with which God guides us through apparent difficulties. The ancient mystics taught that there are three levels of divine interpretation: the literal, the symbolic, and the celestial. The literal level is what we see on the surface: a missed opportunity, an unexpected encounter, a change of plans. The symbolic level reveals the deeper meaning, what this experience is teaching us, what patterns we are called to transform. The celestial level shows us how every experience brings us closer to our divine destiny, even when it seems to be taking us further away. The most extraordinary thing is that when you master this art of interpretation, you begin to see that there are no errors in the divine plan. Every no is actually a "not now" or a "there's something better waiting." Every detour on your path takes you exactly where you need to be. It's as if life were a great spiritual GPS that always finds the best route to your destination, even if sometimes it takes paths you didn't expect. The key is to maintain what the sages call the elevated gaze, the ability to see each situation from a higher, divine perspective. When you develop this vision, obstacles stop being sources of frustration and become guiding signs. It's like having a sacred map that shows you not only the destination, but the divine purpose behind each step of the way. This sacred ritual, passed down in secret for generations, requires no special objects or sacred places. Its power lies in its simplicity and the deep connection it establishes between your soul and the divine source. It takes place at 3 key times of the day. At dawn, when the veil between the worlds is thinnest. At noon, when vital energy is at its highest. And at dusk, when the day delivers its last blessings. The most powerful part of the ritual is what the ancients called the prayer of the open heart. It is not a traditional prayer with memorized words, but a special state of consciousness where your heart communicates directly with the divine. It's like opening an inner door that connects your deepest essence with the source of all blessing. In this state, limitations dissolve and divine power flows freely through you. The ritual also includes a crucial element that many are unaware of: the activation of the sacred portals. These portals are not physical places, but rather energetic points in your spiritual field that, when activated correctly, create a direct bridge between your intentions and their divine manifestation. It's like having master keys that open not just physical doors, but entire dimensions of possibilities. The most transformative thing about this ritual is that every time you perform it, its power multiplies. It's like creating a sacred energy field that gets stronger with each practice. People who have maintained this ritual for at least 40 consecutive days report miraculous changes in their lives, unexpected opportunities, profound healings, and a constant feeling of being guided by a higher force. There is a sacred promise, as old as time itself, that ensures that every soul has a direct channel with the divine. It is not a privilege reserved for a select few, but your spiritual birthright. This permanent connection is like a thread of light that always unites you with the source of all power and wisdom. When you learn to activate and maintain this connection, your life transforms in ways that previously seemed impossible. The most extraordinary thing is that this connection is never really broken. We simply forget how to access it. It's like having a heavenly telephone that is always on, waiting for us to dial the right number. The key is to remember that you don't need intermediaries to communicate with the divine. The direct line is always available. You just need to learn to tune into it correctly. When you activate this permanent connection, you begin to experience what mystics call the state of continuous grace. It is a state where synchronicities become your new normal, where blessings flow naturally, and where you feel constant guidance in every step you take. It does not mean that there will be no challenges, but that you will face each situation with a wisdom and strength that goes beyond your human capabilities. And here is the most powerful part of this heavenly promise. The more people activate their divine connection, the stronger the field of light on our planet becomes. It is like a sacred network that expands and strengthens with each awakening soul. That's why you're watching this video now. It's no coincidence. It's part of a collective awakening that's happening at this crucial moment in human history. If you have felt the divine call while watching this video, it is no coincidence. The universe has brought you here for a reason. Write in the comments, "I activate my divine connection," to seal this sacred intention. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay connected with more ancient wisdom. Remember, every action you take today is one step closer to your divine destiny.